yen demand politician biara say on make kire say ye onyini insana Ghanaians omonjintum say ye onyini David ye were overlord and edin the Abdullah Mami Sheriga ohona e ko he na omoko so ye onyini no aye kire say o tina ofie na o ka say o ye onyini. Even the president of the Republic of Ghana ono John Dramani Mahama no asa na o mbe so onyini no say okokita bibi e de so e ma Ghanaians say na Chief Justice a swear ni in insana owura office na dey antina win election no dey antina wan kon wura office asa who tina ofie na obeka kire obi say wo ye ohini sir ti say me amegina ono say o de ba o beti obeka kire say me forefathers omu wo omu Bawku ono no ni nana ban ni grave na e wo Bawku ono abogra ni kema no abogra is a different with Azoka yeah nim Azoka he's a younger man by trap coming from Burkina Faso. Do things we know that and we know their family house. And the Abugra also Onya onyene ene ewa Bawku enya onyene ewa babia o hine bia enim se o ya hine ewa Bawku eye Alhaji Sedu Abagre de Nabserga. Your last message there ya di mamu mo media for mo bia ya ba life un se be kasa no me sani wallahi 3 times. Omo diploma wo Bawku no soldier for now police for no omo wa mawo omo wa nkwala fi omo wa papa no mami no omo ja omo say omo ba ye kuro Bawku e be protect life and then properties say be hu say omo ntimi a na dey nti na omo ya police for no dey nti na omo ntimi yi sa soldier for no omo ko tena Bawku o fie no omo yi sa soldier no enfi na Bawku o fie no yeah, so bet me than fie. Enu abako dey say to so mienu. Say IGP. So who are police for no into me pata. Yeah, nim say amo, FB unit. Omo je omo 30, soldiers 20. Omo timama asunje aba Bawku. Politics inti. Say omo nim say omo ntimi a. Omo sisa soldier 4 ni na omo Bawku no. Omo crossing course civilian court now. No omo my 24 hours. Ni pa bia. Ni hi fie eda from omo nya Bawku. Enti asaka tiramu sema se kusasi ni bia kasa oyo bema o attempti se o block car bi ewo highway international highway ni so on block car bi se o attack obi yes e be ya Ghanaian surprise exactly and the same message that was say ya di Ghanaian so no we first and last enti ya man won we na ko see first and last ya nim say mra wo asana Bawku na ba Alhaji Sedu Abagre de Nabserga the second asana obedi ni na esi Bawku kurom no ofa mraso ena ko dur Bawku otena ni fie no mo ka ten so onyini o na onu abi onti Bawku ka se onu yo Bawku na ba no ani ke ma Bawku go no o tira ye ni nana grave a wo Bawku Abdul Ayi and Nabserga obati ma tira ni ancestors ni forefathers omo grave a wo Bawku up to ne ewo ho so no ani ke ma Bawku se Ghana mra e fa ni yajima na omo yi ni free Bawku a ye mpesa bibi be si akire because of the respect that we have with the military men and the policemen e dey be si akire bia e be dey na be si na be si esa you cannot put on the screen. You cannot put on.
Nte se moun nim se moun pe police. mon personnage ça modè ya mambuti for say mon yi police for no barras na wo mo hefi ono bo police and soldier ya yi mo free mu ne ma order say ahini mienu no abugrago ene na chiriga ya ja mu kro mamo munku do beti mi wo fa kro no ne ya cha do beti Omo fi say peace intimi ye adwuma ena ntakwa ma munku police for ma munku soldier for omo dia soldier for ni police for no mun yi mu hun free abugrawo fie mun yi mu free ono mo no mo ma ye just 3 days ma o yini bia antu na shirga antu free boku abugrawo antu free boku for only 1 week ko wa betima tena kro mo ono mo no wona kro ni ya odie finish ena Bawku ko bolga no se soldier for ni nim so mo timi ma escort ma enko a omo ma ye kwan ya o mranta betima di enko for pia ko bolga ko dita ni ata ye chiaba no searching asa ye kro bia se ka be ne pese Ghana ye manya ye be ma Ghana ye manya de kusaji for ni ya omusuro no ye betima ye ma ye wo ti aye na shiriga wa ma order ye ntimi ye fi press conference ye crack for no omajuma na omo ye no na basa for no so ho ye betima ye asen omo batempe police ni regional commander yi ni tuo say e bon Mamprugu ni abranti ye pa kunu because hu ni tuo wo ja tuo na ma o chime o say dia bi wo kunu Mamprugu for afore enko ni police ni ye say curfew rules kake ya break nko 40 mocks ya kokun omo mpanyinfo Mamprugu ni bia sori ambo police ni asu Bawku da na adenti na somo ba IGP mu wati me ba makusati for takum sutu no akaje police for se o sutu soro kusati for sutu police for mo so mo sutu soro ye ku mo so sutu soro police for mo amuntimi so mo kan no kure no mo nja ekuro no maye se sana government pair bunduri for ye nuan ma mo ku bunduri no aye we ye last. And yes, I buy one get 10 free no. Ombenya. Buy one get 10 free no. Look at you in Bunduria. While one who if our Ghana and United Ghana.
We are about to start with this most important press conference. But in any occasion before we begin, we will go on with this press conference. If Malam Tanko is around,
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Zizi watin ya zinu ta zankan na ta dubana hannuni. Dubana ta ta zin alafiya nana alafiya. Te tizin ziwa Mamprugu to ne kyanne zugu katalla an la anwazuna. Mon ya kyana ne fitina Mamprugu tun ban puni. Dubana tamtan nasara bazugu. ta tangbanni ta yada mun zab ndiya ta tangbannin dole ta she lugur kamza ka kabur ka kemu nduma na no ulaf san kanan tununi salatu ala nabi karim اللهم ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا فإن لم تغفر لنا لا ترحمنا لنكون من الخاسرين اللهم ربنا أنزل علينا مائدة من السماء تقول لنا إذا لأولنا وآخرنا وآيات منك وارزقنا وأنت خير الرازقين لله ما في السماوات وما في الأرض وإن تبدوا ما في أنفسكم وتوفوه يحاسبكم به الله فيغفر لمن يشاء ويعذب من يشاء والله على كل شيء قدير آمن الرسول بما أنزل إليه من ربه والمؤمنون كل آمن بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسله لا نفرق بين أحد من رسله وقالوا سمعنا وأطعنا غفرانك ربنا وإليك المصير لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها لها ما كسبت وعليها ما اكتسبت ربنا لا تؤاخذنا نسينا أو ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إسرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين فانصرنا على القوم الظالمين فانصرنا على القوم المنافقين فانصرنا على القوم الحاسرين إن الله والملائكة يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين صلاة على النبي الكريم.
All right, thank you very much, Malam Tanko. Te pusia pam Malam Tanko jana zangte ziwan zang ninauna nusni. Now we are about to start with the actual program, and we shall finish with the press reading. Then any other questions will then be invited. So I would like to invite Dr. Isa Imoro to do the press reading for us. So Pampa Matin Pilate press ma. So to bonu to bo late brother Dr. Isa Imoro ko ochana karangba wantiti.
Good morning, everyone. This is a press conference organized by the Mamprugu Youth Association, the national chapter. And then it seeks to address current security developments in Bawku and its environs, the unprofessional conduct of the Inspector General of Police, and then the baseless demand for the arrest of Bawku Naba na Sheriga Alhaji Seidu Abagri. Esteemed members of the press, fellow Ghanaians, and all dedicated stakeholders committed to peace and order in Bawku and Ghana as a whole. We of the Mamprugu Youth Association address you today with profound concern for the rapidly deteriorating and escalating security situation in Bawku and its surrounding areas. This crisis affects not only the lives and livelihoods of our people, but also threatens the very fabric of our national unity, national security, and the promising mediation efforts currently led by His Royal Majesty Otumfo Osei Tutu II, the Asante-Hene. A brief about the background to the current happenings in Bawku. Bawku, historically a vibrant hub of coexistence and commerce, anchored by its central market, established in 1858, has long symbolized our interconnectedness, drawing together diverse ethnic groups and fostering trade across our borders with Burkina Faso, Togo, and Niger. The unilateral establishment of a parallel market by a segment of the Kusasi community, following the regrettable resurgence of violence in 2021, citing unfounded claims of insecurity in the Mamprusi-dominated central market, has unfortunately introduced grave security challenges. Now, while we recognize the inherent right of every citizen or every community to pursue its economic activities in safety, the consequences arising from the creation of this parallel market have been deeply troubling. Elements within the Kusasi youth have, with gross impunity, engaged in acts of intimidation and coercion with intent to deny access to the Kusasi market to individuals they wrongly perceive as Mamprusis or their allies. Indeed, the tragic killing of a 6-month-old Busanga baby, whose grandmother went with her to the Kusasi market to purchase vegetables, underscores the climate of hostility that has festered for a long time around the Kusasi market. Disturbingly, this aggression has extended beyond ethnic profiling to levels that can best be described as domestic terrorism. These same Kusasi youth have forcibly prevented their own Kusasi kin, members of other ethnic groups, and international traders, particularly from Burkina Faso, Niger, and Togo, from accessing the established Bawku Central Market, which provides revenue to the state. These blatant acts of economic blockade and ethnic targeting, often occurring in plain sight of law enforcement officers along critical routes like the Bawku Bolga Pulimakom Road and the Bawku Kulungungu International Road, points a disturbing picture of a breakdown in law and order and safety. And that is very unfortunate. If the intent, that is the intent of creating the apparel market, the Kusasis, was to create space for commerce, it would be a matter of communal choice. However, the forceful redirection by Kusasi youth of traffic destined for the Bawku Central Market and the subsequent targeting of those who patronize it, even under armed military escort, are unequivocally criminal acts of banditry and then terrorism. Attempts by the Ghana Police Service to restore order and ensure freedom of movement along the Bawku Bolga Pulimakom International Road by preventing attacks and harassment of innocent citizens have been met with violent resistance by the Kusasi youth, tragically resulting in the loss of life. The subsequent coordinated armed attacks by Kusasi youth on multiple police installations, including the burning of the residence of the divisional police commander, sections of the Bawku police barracks, the Binduri police post, and the attacks on the Pusiga police station, as well as the residences of honorable members of parliament, Honorable Mahama Ayarga and Honorable Ladi Ayamba, leading to injuries to police and immigration officers and extensive damage to public infrastructure, are acts that demand the strongest condemnation. Unfortunately, we are yet to see a single condemnation of these acts of terrorism from the Kusasi leadership and their political class, like Honorable Ayarga, Honorable Avoka, and the rest of the members of parliament in the Bawku area. They are silent. None of them is bold enough to condemn these acts of terrorism. Following the above violent acts of domestic terrorism by the Kusasi youth, because they have come out to own up and say they are those committing these acts of terrorism, the Inspector General of Police visited Bawku, and in what can be best described as bizarre, he apologized to the Kusasis, the same people who attacked and vandalized several police and state installations. Furthermore, the IGP refused to visit Mamprusis, who are key stakeholders in this matter. This biased conduct of the IGP and the cowardly unprofessional conduct of apologizing to criminals has emboldened the Kusasi youth to perpetrate more crime. They went, and when I say they, I mean the Kusasi youth, because they have actually accepted that they are those doing this. They went on rampage, attacking and killing innocent Mamprusis in the Binduri district. Their ungodly criminal activities climaxed on the afternoon of April 13, 2025, when they ambushed and killed 2 police officers in the Binduri district. The mark of a good leader is having the best interest of the people he leads, but to throw the sacrifices of the men in uniform to the dogs just to appease what the former police secrets describe as Kusasi banditry smacks of incompetence and professional negligence on the part of the Inspector General of Police. Indeed, we are reliably informed that almost all the policemen stationed at districts like Binduri, Pusga, have all been recalled to the Divisional Police Command in Bawku, simply because of threats by Kusasi youth, emboldened by the pleas of the IGP. We have cited a police memo from the Upper East Regional Police Command issuing a ban on the movement of police personnel to Bawku. This development paints a bleak outlook of the security of the area. We would like to extend our deepest condolences to the government and families of the deceased police officers. We commend His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama for his forthright description of these acts as criminal vandalism of state property. It is our considered view that the Kusasi youth were emboldened by the unfortunate apology issued by the IGP to them for their acts of violence and terrorism against the state of Ghana. They have done that to several citizens, innocent citizens, and they now feel emboldened to attack the state. And all the IGP could do was to go and apologize to them. We urge the police and all security agencies to heed the clear directive from the president that these acts are acts of criminal vandalism of state property, and ensure that the perpetrators of these dastardly acts face the full force of the law. Unfortunately, instead of confronting these bandits and terrorists, the security has folded up in Bawku. They have all folded up, and the media is silent. All the police forces have folded up and they have gone back to the Divisional Police Command. Instead of confronting armed bandits and terrorists, they have emboldened over the year, they have folded up. And then Ghanaians shouldn't be silent to this, because that is how terrorism creeps. It starts at an area where you think that it does not involve you, it does not touch you. By the time you realize, it creeps to your very homes and then your very roofs, deep inside your rooms. So Ghanaians should be very concerned. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, these events, the acts of banditry and terrorism, have regrettably led to the suspension of armed security escorts on the Bawku-Bolgatanga Highway, which is a critical international trade route linking Ghana, Burkina Faso, and Togo. The ensuing disruption has stranded commuters and goods, paralyzed economic activity, and it risks damaging Ghana's regional and diplomatic trade relations. Today, if you are in the Bawku township, you cannot travel to Bolgatanga, because these youth, these Kusasi youth, have taken control over the roads. The roads that you and I pay our taxes for the government to construct and then build. Bandits have taken control over these roads, and citizens cannot travel on that road. And the state is quiet. In addition, the actions of the Kusasis have directly been aimed at making public institutions like the Bawku Presby Hospital, the Bawku Presby Nurses and Midwifery College, the Ghana Commercial Bank, and the Agricultural Development Bank dysfunctional and permanently closed. That is what they want. If you own a country or if you own a town, do you wish that these critical state infrastructure be closed permanently? Just like the Bawku Central Market, the Kusasi say all these critical state infrastructure are located within the territory of the Mamprusis. Hence, there are untiring and determined efforts to render these state institutions permanently closed. Their actions are akin to the biblical story of dividing the baby into two, which ultimately leads to the death of the baby. That is what they want. We therefore urge the state to act with urgency to restore the functioning of roads and these critical state infrastructure.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, Doc, please let me come in. I want to ask before the questions. Please, is GTV here? What of TV3? What of GHBRAIN? Doc, please, I need some clarity. If you can just I need some clarity. Please, again, do you invite them TV3?
Let's finish, please. Let's finish. We can handle any other.
No, but it's important because the media is one of the reasons why we are seeing the silent everything about media. So we want but yes,
okay, we have presented your views. It's okay. We have presented your views. So, you can come in.
I think we've not given Dr. Issa a loud clap enough. Us to have order, just like we have been described as people with enough patience. We are people of patience, so let's be patient and make sure that the media men we have invited here will carry out the message that we have just delivered. We are being patient in the hall. We are being patient in the hall.
wow.
The Mamprugu Youth Association is presenting facts, and then we urge our media men to always interrogate the matter. Bawku, as we speak, has been divided in two fronts. So anytime they say Bawku Youth, we have a lot of tribes that are inhabited in Bawku. So when the IGP visits one side, and that is the Kusasi Youth, we urge the media to make it known to Ghanaians that this is the Kusasi Youth. And they are those perpetrating crime and trying to destabilize the peace of this country. Not only Bawku, just like our presenter said, if the state doesn't nip this in the bud, anytime they say there is an action, comes a reaction. And that is what we don't want to see. We don't want to undermine Ashanti-Hini's mediation process. We are a people of a royal lineage, and we understand what royalty is all about. So that does not mean that there cannot be a reaction anytime there's an action. So at this juncture, I would like to invite the media men who have questions for further interrogations for Dr. Issa to continue. Thank you.
Violence occurring in Bawku. So beyond this press conference, what's next?
So our brother from Daily Guide asked whether beyond this press conference, what do we do? We have told you here that we have been patient over this while. This conflict started in the year 2021. And all the troubles we are talking about today, it didn't start today. The killing of security men started far back. In 2021, they attacked the military intelligence vehicle in Bawku and then burnt it. From then, they killed policemen, they shot at 3 military men, killed a soldier, killed an immigration officer. All these things happened. The blockage of the international route has been happening since 2021. And we have engaged the state. This is not the first press conference we have done on this. But we told the state that if you continuously pamper these people, it will reach a particular level that they will turn their guns at you. And they didn't listen to us. But we engaged them. And finally, this is what they are doing. It is the Kusasi youth now against the state. They have put us at one side now. They don't want to touch us. They are now fighting the state itself. All is because the state did not hear the concerns we were giving them. And unfortunately, they gave a media blackout. Most of the media stations here, you would confess. If you have to talk to someone from Bawku, you talk to only the Kusasis. You don't talk to the Mamprusis. They blacked us out. So our concerns were not heard. And those are the results you are seeing there. If they are fighting the police in Bawku, you don't know when they would fight here. So the concerns we have raised here, we are not people who come and give deadlines and timelines. We just use words like urgent. And every sane person, every person who thinks, would know that if today the police can evacuate and leave critical areas in Bawku, then the agency should even be with the time to act should be even within the next minute, not to wait for someone to tell you that they should give you a deadline. So we have brought our concerns here. We are peaceful people. Our people don't want to react to what they are doing. We think that we should use these means to get our concerns heard. And it behoves on you, the media, to get these concerns to the state. We also want to see if we can engage the state authorities. You see that the IGP went to Bawku. He didn't come to us. How can you come? So how do you hear our concerns? You understand? They will try and then engage them. We have met previously some ministers. I don't want to mention their names. We have met them. They have given us audience. But when we talk sometimes, they think that we are doing tribalism or we are speaking for our people. But to be honest with you, if you go and take your time and look at what is in our document and what we have, do you think it is for us? It is for the state. Because individuals cannot take up arms against the state, and you want all of us to be quiet. Simply because we are Mamprusis, we cannot speak. So I think that we don't have timelines. We have done our part. We'll continue to make sure that Ghanaians get to know the truth about what is happening. It is on the state and on you, the media. When you go, you report that the police have evacuated from Binduri. They have evacuated from Pusga. The police has written a memo, and they have issued that all their soldiers, all their forces, they shouldn't go out and be roaming. They should all come to the Divisional Police Command. These are issues Ghanaians need to know. And know that if it is happening in Bawku, don't think Bawku is far. That is how it starts. That is how Boko Haram started. And then Nigeria is where it is today. I hope I've answered you. Good. Any other questions? Of every institution in the town so that you don't have Bawku again. They have come up with Kusak. Nobody, the media, the government, they have been misled into thinking that the name of the traditional area is Kusak. It is false. It is not. Actually, what is in the legislative instrument, LI 240, you can go and check. That is the name of the instrument. It is Bawku traditional area, not Kusak traditional area. But unfortunately, the government and the media have been confused into thinking that the name of the area is called Kusak traditional area. It is not. Ghana, we are bounded by laws, and the name of the town or the traditional area is Bawku traditional area as, can we control the, as captured in LI 2409. You can go and then look at it.
Or the security apparatus are very much, afraid to work in the town. And here is a case, as you elaborated our concern regarding the banks not working, which is very critical, like the ADB, the commercial bank. So I will plead with you to convey the message, our message once again through the media to the government, that we have the men who are chartered accountants, they are ready to work in Bawku. If the workers, the bankers are not comfortable to work, just that the military, the police having to move from Pusga and wherever and come to the regional head office, the regional headquarters in Bawku, we can provide them the men to work in the meantime, especially within the banks or in the banks, so that at least activities will take place. So our plea through you to government is that we have the men who can work on our behalf, so that at least in the...
You can't have this critical state infrastructure and they are not